kids, it's Jurassic James, it's Jurassic Explains. We're looking at Tyrannotitan. So Tyrannotitan is another one of those dinosaurs that you should know, but no one knows, but it should be known. So we'll go over that in a minute. I'm excited because it's Jurassic World figure, so it's not going to be scientifically accurate. But if this happens, that means other companies will make some eventually. So first and foremost, it was named in 2002, to 20 years ago from this video's shooting time. And the name Tyranno, that's like in tyrant, like Tyrannosaurus Rex, and Titan, as in giant creature. This is not a relative of T-Rex. They are not closely related at all. It's kind of like saying, is a bear a relative of a tiger? No. Tigers are closer to lions and leopards, right? So I'm going to open it first and then go from there. So with the official scissors of Jurassic James, we will unseat the beast and... Great, no sound. So it's one of those figures where you just do that and it turns like this. So first and foremost, it is classified in the Carcharodontosaurus family. This is from early Cretaceous Argentina, so about 113 to 100 million years ago, roughly. And so, again, the hands are the Jurassic Park style hands going down, not the predated like the raptors or the allosaurus. So that's actually kind of backwards because Jurassic World's been doing better actually in general. But the idea here is that this guy it's not so much where his leg is weird. Oh, there it goes. Okay, yeah, there you go. So there's the animal, there's the front, there's the side. No, it from a side, the back like that. You turn this, it does that. There's a DNA code. Oh, so the old school DNA code in the foot, not the thing you pull out. So why is it so important to us in paleontology? So for the last few weeks, months, whatever, I've been talking about a Belosaurus because Jurassic World's making lots of Belosaurus. Here's the thing. I've mentioned that in the late Jurassic North America, we have Ceratosaurus. Ceratosaurus itself is a dinosaur that is very prominent and well known within the Morsa Formation. And this guy, we believe, or one like it, this lineage gave rise to the Belosaurus. In the same late Jurassic North America, we have Allosaurus, and of course Allosaurus is one of the really famous theropod dinosaurs. So it also seems to have been a genus or a group that gave rise to a group called Carcharodontosaurids. And so just like there are the Spinosaurids and the Raptors and the Tyrannosaurs, this is another group that I've gone over before. Now, why is it important to you? This guy falls in Carcharodontosaurids. Why is that important? It's because these guys are essentially thought to be specialized in hunting large prey, particularly sauropods. I mentioned before that in the Jurassic period we have all these, it's named the Age of Giants. So in North America, you have Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus, Apatosaurus, all these really big long necks. Well, in the Cretaceous period, in the Northern Hemisphere, North America, we see the attrition of like raptors more prominently, iguanodonts, later on the horned dinosaurs. Those things, for the most part, a couple exceptions, do not show up in South America. South America continues being like the Jurassic of North America in that there's giant sauropods and giant predators. And so Tyrannotitan is a part of that lineage. It is closer related to the Giganotosaurus, the Mapusaurus, the Carcharodontosaurus, and the Eocarcharia, which are dinosaurs I've done a video on each of these species because genuses. And so what's going on as far as the family tree goes, let's see. This guy is thought by so Mapusaurus and Giganotosaurus are really close related and also close in time and space. But the idea is that this guy would have been there early, an ancestor for them. Now, these all live in Argentina, South America. It's Carcharodontosaurus here lived in North Africa, and actually the name comes from this group, Carcharodontosaurus, the same genus as great white sharks. Carcharodon, so flesh-tearing, flesh-eating, and then don tooth. Eocarcharia is early Cretaceous. So in actuality, see, for you, South America is here, Africa is there. So these guys are late Cretaceous, 100 million years ago roughly, and this guy is a little older, like let's say 105. This is going to be later Cretaceous, South America. This is early Cretaceous. In Africa, we have late Cretaceous Carcharodontosaurus, early Eocarcharia. So Pangea is working apart. So Africa and South America are breaking apart. By the time they're here, it's closer together. By the time these guys evolve, 10 million years later, it's further apart. So that's kind of where it fits in this family tree. So it's kind of important to understand. Its more distant cousin is the Acrocanthosaurus, North America. So it's in the group, but not in the tight-knit part of the family. So there's a different branch. It's like these are like direct cousins. This is like a second removed cousin kind of thing. Now you say, why is it called Tyranno if it's not a T-Rex or a Tyrannosaur? Well, it's because, one, it is an animal that's almost as big as T-Rex. These guys get really big. And the fun thing is that a 30-foot predatory dinosaur like Allosaurus, or not, well, they're bigger than 30 feet, 35, 39 foot, that is impressive. But we always look at T-Rex at 40 something feet, and we're like, oh, that's so much bigger, or Giganotosaurus, but that's still a big size. So this animal would have been, because these toys aren't to scale, even though it's the same franchise, they're not to scale. And so this animal, it would have been about 39 to 40 feet long. It's almost as big as the T-Rex. The difference is the Carcharodontosaurids are not as powerful as the Tyrannosaurus. And what I mean by that is these guys have similar sized skulls, but they have bigger holes in them. Their bones are usually lighter. And so the Tyrannosaurs are kind of like bears. And again, these are like tigers. They're big, but they're not as powerful. Now, are they very powerful? Yes, they're large theropod dinosaurs, but they're not as powerful as T-Rex. Now, as far as the individual genus, the toys don't really show this, but the arms are smaller in proportion to the body than other Giganotosauruses. So the toys don't really express that. Also, they found like some of the skull bones, ribs, parts of the arm, legs, hips. Like a lot of this part here was found. And so the idea was that with this animal, I always check for a dew claw. They usually do the dew claw. But this animal, it seems that most Giganotosaurids, or Carcharodontosaurids, had pneumatic or air like spaces in their tail and hip vertebra. This guy did not. All the paper specifies that, meaning it was a more heavy animal. The processes, so say you have a bone and there's muscles over it, you have a piece sticking out with muscle to attach to, that part was bigger on these guys, meaning that it was probably a heavier design than this later relative. So in an evolutionary sense, these guys are, they're getting bigger from Allosaurus, in theory. We think they're Allosaurus descendants. And then it gets bigger, it's very heavy. So later relatives go like, no, let's stay bigger, but make it lighter weight, more hollowed out, basically, right? And so that's why they're kind of adapting that way. As far as its environment goes, only 2 other species are, well, there are multiple species found in this environment. Not so much dinosaurs, other things too, but only 2 others have toys. And I have trouble saying this. I did a video on this a while ago. Giganotosaurus, I think, it's like the last ceratosaur is found there. And when I first got this figure, I did a video on it like a year ago or so. And so this guy is living with Tyrannotitan and also Patagotitan, which when you hear the word Titanosaur, I did a Titanosaur video last Saturday. I mentioned in the video that Titanosaurus, the genus, is dubious, questionable, a lot going on, old history. The word Patagonotitan, this guy here, I didn't do a video when I bought this actually, I just realized that. I'm hoping to find more toys of this to compare it to before I do a full video. But the idea, because I bought it in South Dakota actually, but the idea is that post-dig, focus, the idea is that this guy here is one of the largest dinosaurs ever. It is often considered to rival Argentinosaurus. I still am in camp Argentinosaurus because both these guys are very well known. But the only dinosaur that could have taken it down, or at least in groups worked together, would have been this guy here. There were smaller sauropods in the environment, but again, this is the biggest thing. And the reason it's so popular is because if you can go to the museum in New York and it's on display there, they have a cast of it there. Skeletons have gone on tour. They've gone, like, I think the British Museum, they put a traveling exhibit together. And so it was essentially made cast of and put on display before it was named. So the Titanosaur family, once again, it's a member of the Titanosaur group, but the actual genus wasn't designed, doesn't describe till later on. So I remember seeing the news saying this new Titanosaur is a giant Titanosaur, and then I was like, wait a minute, there's no genus name. I was trying to find it, and they find it, publish it. So that's why we know this guy so well. And again, these guys are all together, and again, not to scale. It'd be way bigger than these two. In fact, these are not to scale. This guy would be a little bit, well, actually, wait. It's about 20 feet long, I think, or 15 to 20 feet long. So, roughly, but it should be full more massive. I don't know. The point is, Tyrannotitan's a dinosaur that I was interested in. I finally made a toy of it. I'm pretty sure that because it's now, I mean, it's one of those names where it's one of the top largest predators known. I think it gets drowned out because Giganotosaurus is just bigger and in movies. But, I mean, in the world without Tyrannosaurus Rex, these guys, I mean, they were the top predators. Oh, not top. The largest predators known to Earth on land. I mean, they were bigger than, I mean, Spinosaurus is longer, but these guys are, like, bigger, comparatively speaking. And so, and in fact, the funny thing is that this dynasty of Carcharodontosaurs were the ruling class from the Jurassic to, late Jurassic to early Cretaceous. And it wasn't until they died out in the beginning of the late Cretaceous that the Tyrannosaurus popped up. In fact, I did an episode on a video on mo- uh, Morus intrepidus. So about when Jurassic World came out, this toy came out, and this is a model of it. And then I found later on a different color because I'm a sucker for repaints. And then in I think Barnes and Nobles, my wife and I we found this actual. And I haven't done an update to this video, but the idea is that Morus is this little Tyrannosaur. Now the individual in Jurassic World was like this big. They're bigger than that. But the idea is that the Tyrannosaurs from the earliest Tyrannosaurid like thing is Jurassic China, like Guanlong. From then to about early late Cretaceous, the Tyrannosaurs are a small, puny group. They are being overshadowed, well, by these guys. And then it wasn't until this Carcharodontsaurid group died out that the Tyrannosaurs then actually would get getting bigger and bigger. And Tyrannosaurus rex is the last of the Tyrannosaurs and the biggest of the Tyrannosaurs. So it's like, again, they were under the thumb of this group. They were the top predators. They all die out. These guys replace them and get bigger and bigger, and we get this. And so that's kind of where all this fits together in the story of paleontology. I hope this made sense. Let me know in the comments, because I don't know if in my head it does, but I know that I'm not everyone else. So with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in.